Okay, we're in Sefer Yehoshua, and we're in Perek Vav, Pasuk Vav. We're going to be learning a lot of psukim today, but first, let's focus on something very interesting. Where does Alinu come from? The answer is it comes from Yehoshua. It comes from this episode when they were surrounding the wall, making circles around the wall for 7 days, and they had the shofars and everything. We're going to be learning about it more. We already learned about it a little. So let's just go right into the specific point. This is a very interesting idea. The Ma'am Loeys over here on Pasuk Tes Vav relates that Yeshua enacted the text of Alenu to be said. And the second paragraph of Alenu was actually established by someone by the name of Achan, who we're going to be learning about, who took from the consecrated property of Yericho. You weren't allowed to take from the spoils. And if you look at the second paragraph of Alenu, Al Kain Nakava, all of those words are the letters of Achan. Ayin and Al, Cain is the Chaf, and then Nun is Nekava. So, which is very interesting. You see, it's alluded to in that name over there. It was in the strength and the merit of circling around Yericho with the Aaron, with the shofar, with tremendous amount of focus and intent, with kavana. That's why part of how they merited the walls falling down, and Hashem took care of them. Right? That's the idea with Alenu. They were able to capture the city. Rabbi Nechumya ben Hakano enacted that Alenu should be said after every single time we daven Shachris Mincha Ma'ariv. Every single day. It's a very special praise to Hashem. We are testifying that no one is like Hashem in the heavens or the earth. And therefore we should say Alenu with a lot of focus, with a lot of intent, tremendous amount of kavanah. We have to mean the words that we say, not just say it. This is why we should say Aleinu standing. The word Aleinu in Gematria is the same as Uma Umad. The numerical value of Aleinu is Uma Umad, which means and standing. That's a hint that we should stand when we say Aleinu. Very interesting idea over here. The Gematria is 166. The Ayin and the Lamed together and the ayin and the lamed. Ayin is 70, lamed is 30, that's 100. The nun is 50. And then you have the yud, which is 60, and then the vav at the end, which is 6, 166. Mu'umad also. Two mems are 80, each is 40. Then the ayin is 70, you're at 150. And then you have a vav and a dalid, which is 10, so you're at 160. And then another vav, which is 166. Therefore, Aleinu is something that is very special. It's a tremendous amount of praise. It is very high stature, and we have to be careful that we don't just say it when we're like running out of shul, so to say. That we don't want to be like a child who's running away from school on the last day, right? This is the school's ending around this time of the year. We don't want to be like that. We want to say it, mean what we say, have focus on it. Some don't even say it at all. They just skip it. Some people they say it, but they're murmuring everything while they're walking and they're thinking about work, they're thinking about plans for the rest of the day. That's not good. We should say it and have a tremendous amount of focus when we say it. That's the Mamleys. The Mishpatzot Zahav also discussed Salino a little bit. This is on over here on the Psukim in our parak, V'yibeyom Hashvini. This pasuk over here. Looks like it's pasuk Tez Zayin, Tez Vav. Mishpatzot Zahav also discusses this as well. He quotes a kolbo in Siman Tez Zayin, says that the name of Yehoshua is hinted to in Aleinu. Backwards. The ayin, Aleinu l'shabeach, you have an ayin there. Shelo yasanu, you have a shin that starts with shelo yasanu. You have a vav in va'anachnu korim, it starts with va'anachnu korim, and then you have a hey by hu Elokeinu. That is the letters of Yeshua's name, Hosea. Right? Before the yud was added. The Seder Hayom already picks up because of the sins. There's no yud. Right? That Moshe added. At the end of Parsha of Hadzinu, the Torah says it without a yud, Yeshua's name. So this is this discussion with Aleno. In the footnote over here, he quotes the Yabates, who also relates that the Arizal said you should have a tremendous amount of focus when you say Alenu l'shabeach, say in a loud voice, say it standing, mean what you say. Let's learn through the psukim over here, and we're gonna go in order. Up to Pasuk Vav over here. Pasuk says, Pasuk Vav, Vayikra, Yehoshua ben Nun el Kohanim. The Yehoshua, the son of Nun, he called to the Kohanim. Vayomer Aleim, and he told them, Su'u es Aaron habris, carry the ark of the covenant of Hashem. This is the Aaron. V'shiva Kohanim yisu shiva shoifros yoivlim lifnei Aaron Hashem. The seven Kohanim are going to carry the seven shofars, yoivlis, special shofars in front of the Aaron of Hashem. This is talking about that either it was made out of a ram. We discussed this back on Pasuk Daled, exactly why it's called shofars yoivlis. Then the pasuk says, "Vayomer Alam." He told the nation, "Ivru v'sibu, go and circle around v'sovu esayir, the city, v'helchalutz, and the armed troop yavor lifnei Aaron Hashem. Armed troops are going to go in front of the Aaron of Hashem. That's what Yeshua commanded them. Sorry about that. That's on this page over here. So do the pasuk one more time. Vayomer Ala'am ivru v'sovo esayir v'hachalutz yavor lifnei Aaron Hashem. Go, he told the nation, go and pass and circle around the city, the armed troops over there. The Malbim exactly talks about what's the difference between ivru and soivu. You click over there. The next pasuk says, "Vayihi ke'amar Yehoshua la'am." It was when Yehoshua was talking to the nation. V'shiva kohanim noisim shiva shofars, and you're the seven kohanim that were carrying the seven shofars. Hayoivlim, the oval, the ram. V'nei Hashem, in front of Hashem. Ovru v'toku b'shofars. So they went and they blew the shofar. V'Aaron bris Hashem hoylech achreim, and the Aaron, the covenant of Hashem, was going after them, was following them. Yeah, we already learned last time that the shofars are referring to, according to the Barbanel, what the shofar that they would use on the Yovel year. Once every 49 years, they had the Yovel year. Anyways, next pasuk. The hechalotz hoylech lifnei hakohanim toiki hashofros, and the armed troops, they were going in front of the kohanim and they were blowing the shofars. The hama asif, and like the rear guard over there, hoylech acharei, they were going after Haaron, the Aaron. Holach v'takoa b'shofros. They were going and they were blowing the shofars over there. Ve'etzam siva Yehoshua lemor lo yitario v'lo tashmiu eskolchem v'lo yetze mipichem davar adjoim imri aleichem hariu v'haroisim. And the nation, Yehoshua commanded, saying, "Don't cry out, don't be heard, your voices. Nothing should come out of your mouth. Until the day that I tell you, you could start crying out and you could start being heard and making such sounds." The Metzudas David explains on Pasuk Yod Aleph that when it says that they were going and blowing the shofar, that means that they didn't stop. They didn't stop when they were blowing the shofar. They just kept going. Let's focus on one interesting point over here on Pasuk Yod, which could be easily overlooked. Yeshua commanded them, "I don't want your voices to be heard. Don't say anything." What exactly is Yeshua talking about, and what exactly is the problem with him saying something, with them saying something? Like, what's going on over here? See two different approaches. We'll start with the mom always. This is a very interesting idea. Two very interesting answers over here. Okay. Why did Yeshua need to warn them that their voices shouldn't be heard? Yeshua was concerned that maybe the Jews are going to want to try to intimidate the people of Yericho, instill fear in them. A lot of times war isn't just a physical war, it's also a mental. Therefore, Yeshua needed to warn them, no. Just listen to me, don't do that. Hashem will wage war for you. You don't need any of those tactics. And therefore, trust in Hashem and don't say anything. Out of honor to the Aron and to the Shekhinah, to Hashem that is dwelling over there. Have fear. And they were silent. Just like you wouldn't talk in front of a king, certainly over here, you don't talk in front of Hashem over here. The Mishpat Zahav offers a completely different answer to this question. It says like this in the Kisvi Ramad Vali. He explains that the reason is the people of Yericho were making fun. They were making fun of the Jews. Imagine they're just circling around the city every single day, blowing these shofars, these horns over here. Nothing's happened. They're looking so foolish. The people of Yericho are saying, "What are you guys doing? You're so foolish. This is so silly over here." Usually, when you go to fight war, you bring certain military equipment with you. You maybe make some sort of pavement or something, a military path, some strategy. They didn't use some sort of weapons. They didn't do any of that over here. So it looked like a joke. It looked like a mockery. It looked like foolishness over here. So they were making fun of them from the wall. They were calling them fools. That's why Yehoshua said, no, 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 don't say anything. Don't respond. Take the insult, take the shame. Regarding this, Chazal teaches, Hanel oven ve'inim olven. People who get shamed but don't shame others. Shoymim chirafasan ve'inim shivan. They listen to when people try to scorn them and they don't answer back. It's a good thing. The deeper idea over here is anything that in the future will be revealed needs to be silent first, needs to have silence. Something big that's going to get revealed in the future needs to be hidden first, it needs to be silent. This is similar to birth. Birth, before the child is born, the fetus doesn't make any noise for 9 months. Yes, a little kicking here, a little kicking there, or a lot of kicking. But the noise, it's silent. But once the baby comes out, as we know, and as a father of many kids, I could tell you, it starts getting noisy. That's the idea over here. It's the same thing when it comes to these negative spiritual forces, aka those negative forces in Yericho. There had to be silence first. If something incredible was about to be revealed, this miraculous event of the walls not only falling down but getting absorbed into the ground, there had to be silence first. That's the deeper idea why Yehoshua said don't answer anything. Incredible, beautiful idea. Let's move on to Pasuk Yud Aleph over here. Pasuk says, Vayasev Aron Hashem Esair Hakev Pamachas. That it went around the Aron of Hashem. The city, it encircled it one time. Vayavohu Amachane Vayalinu B'machane. And they went to the camp and then they lodged in the camp. They slept in the camp. Next pasuk says, Vayashkim Yehoshua Baboker. Yehoshua got up early in the morning. Vayisu HaKohanim. And Es Aaron Hashem. And the Kohanim, they carried the Aaron of Hashem. Okay, pasuk Yud Gimel. V'shiva HaKohanim noisim shiva shoifrov sayoivlim lifnei Aaron Hashem holchim haloich v'taku b'shoifros. And you had the 7 Kohanim, they were carrying 7 shofars, like we said, before the Aaron of Hashem, and they were going and they were blowing as the shofar as they went. V'hechal lo toilich lifneihem v'ma'asif holech achrei Aaron Hashem haloch or holik v'toko b'shofros. And the armed troops over there, they were going in front, and the rear guard, they were going after the Aaron of Hashem, and they were going and blowing the shofar. before we move to Pasuk Yud Dalid, let's just catch up on a Radak over here. The Radak on Pasuk Yud Aleph says that they encircled the city. Aron Hashem es ha'ir pa'amechas. The Aron of Hashem circled the city one time. V'zeh haya b'yom harishon. This was on the first day. V'rishon liyemei hashvua. This is on the first day of the week. As Chazal teach us, they captured the city on the seventh day of Yericho. That was Shabbos. Even though they killed people and they burnt people on Shabbos, which you're not allowed to do. Misha sivo ala Shabbos, sivo l'chalel Shabbos, b'kavishas Yericho. We're going to go into this more next time. The one who commanded that you should keep Shabbos could command you to desecrate Shabbos, aka Hashem. So Hashem allowed the conquering of Yericho. We're going to go into this next time a lot more. There's going to be many reasons why they were allowed to conquer Yericho on Shabbos. Also, other cities that they besieged on Shabbos, same idea. We're going to be going into this more. There's going to be more a big discussion for next session. Okay, let's go back to Pasuk Yudalid. Vayasobu, and they Esayir, they went around the city. Bayoim Hasheni, that second day, Pamachas Veshuva Machane, the second day, and then they returned to their camp. Koasu Shesham, this is what they did for 6 days. Vayhi Bayoim Hashvi, Vayishkimu Kalos Shachav Yasovu Esayir, Kamishpat Hazeh Sheva Pamim, and it was on the seventh day, they got up around the time of dawn, and they went around the city as they did every other day, 7 times. However, you could like put this in parentheses. Rak bayom ahu savu wasir shev pam. It was just on that day that they circled around 7 times. Okay. I mean, this part of the pasuk seems a little extra, if you ask me. Okay, this is what to look into over here. Um, Vayhi, you have any mafarshim over here on this? Okay. Rashi points out, as we just saw in the Radak before, Rashi points out Shabbos Haya. This was Shabbos. Okay, 7th day over here we're talking about. Pasuk Tez Zayin. Vayhi Pam Hashviyas Taku HaKohanim B'Shofros. It was on the 7th time when the Kohanim were blowing the shofars. Vayomer Yehoshua La'am. Yehoshua told the nation, Hareyu ki nosen Hashem lachem esa'ir. Cry out because Hashem has given you the city. Okay. Things are getting interested. Next pasuk says, pasuk Yud Zayin, V'haisa'ir chayrim hi. I think actually we might have already discussed. Oh yeah, now we're going to discuss that more. Okay. Pasuk Yud Zayin, V'haisa ha'ir chayrim hi. The city was consecrated property. And this is going to be important. This is going to actually segue beautifully right into the next parak over here. Everything was consecrated property. You weren't allowed to take from any of the spoils of Yericho. We're going to figure out exactly why not. Why this is different. We're going to see multiple reasons. But it was all consecrated property. V'chol asher ba, and everything in the city, la Hashem, it was only to Hashem. It's like a korban olah. It's all hekdesh, designated to the base of English. It's all for Hashem. Rak rachav hazoyna tichya. Can be tremendous significance behind this word. Only rachav, the zayna, significance behind that also. Which is called the zone over here. Tichya he, she was gonna live. Cause her to live. As we discussed previously. V'chol asher ito babayis, everything that was with her, that is with her in the house, you have to cause to live. Ki hech beis, ki hech ba'asa es hamalachim asher shalachanu. Because she hid the spies that were sent. Now, it's very interesting because the pasuk over here is calling them malachim. Malach literally means a king. It's referring to the spies, which is very interesting. She hid the spies asher shalachanu that we sent. It's very interesting that they're being referred to over here as kings. So there's definitely going to be what to chew on over here. We're going to have to also have a whole discussion about the consecrated property. We're going to have one session on that, why it was consecrated. That's why we're not going to do the Radak right now on this pasuk. We're going to come back to it. Barakatem shimru min achedim. Pasuk Yirches. Just you should guard yourself from the consecrated property. Pentachrimo, because perhaps you're going to cause a destruction. Ulakachtem min achedim, and you're going to take from the consecrated property. V'samtem es machane Yisrael achedim, v'achartem also. And you're going to cause the Jewish camp a destruction or a trouble. It's not going to be good. So you have to be very careful over here. You're going to bring destruction and trouble. You have to be careful. They're being warned not to take from the consecrated property over here. Rashi explains the word ve'achartem, excuse me, the Metzuda Siyun, minyan hashchasu bilbul. It's like a destruction over here. Here's your local dictionary. Histirim. Besa means she hid them. Pasuk Yud V'kol kesef v'zohav v'klina choishes u'barzel kodesh u'la Hashem oitzer Hashem yav. All of the silver, gold, copper vessels, iron vessels, they're all holy to Hashem. In the treasury, the storehouse of Hashem, that's where it should go. We will do one more pasuk over here to get to Chaf. Pasuk says, "Vayoro ha'am." The nation cried out, "V'yitku b'shofars." The Kohanim they blew the shofars. But he kishmo ha'am eskol shofar, and it was when the nation heard the voice of the shofar. V'yareyu ha'am chua gedola. They all shouted out. They all cried out. V'tipol hachoma tachteha, and the wall fell in its place under it. Vayal ha'am ha'ira, and the nation went to the city. They went up to the city of Yericho, Ish Negdo. Everyone went straight ahead. Vayilkadu as a year, and then they conquered the city. It's definitely a lot to discuss over here. The main two more topics that we're going to discuss before we get to the end of this parak are going to be number one, how and why did they conquer it on Shabbos? We're going to go into that Radak a little bit more. Number two, why is this all consecrated property? Those are the main questions that we have to discuss over here. Okay. Pick it up from here next time.